All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk about Terence Crawford mandated to fight Virgil Ortiz after David Avanesyan. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 147-pound division, where the WBO has just issued an order for Terence Crawford and named his next mandatory challenger, which will be due in not too long at all, but I will give you all the details of that in this video. But before I do, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you are a longtime subscriber and supporter to the channel, let me say thank you very much for your continued support. Now, let's get into this conversation. Do not expect Terence Crawford to be fighting ERROL Spence Jr. ever. After this WBO order has now come down, where he has been ordered to fight Virgil Ortiz as his next mandatory. Now, what does that mean? It means because Terence Crawford is the WBO super champion. He has 18 months in between title defenses, right? To have a mandatory named. But for some reason, less than 12 months after his last fight, his last mandatory fight, which was with Sean Porter, he's now been given his next mandatory, which is Virgil Ortiz, who was the #1 rated guy in the WBO. Usually they would wait a while, at least this is what I have seen, that they would wait until that time period had passed up before they name the guy that he is mandated to fight next. So now he has a fight coming up in December against David Avanesyan. He was in negotiations to fight ERROL Spence Jr., and he said that he would come back to the ERROL Spence Jr. negotiations after he beat David Avanesyan, which I think is almost a foregone conclusion. But seeing as he has, let's look at this calendar real quick. In December, he will have, let me see, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. This fight will be due right around June, the June timeframe. So that pretty much eliminates him from fighting ERROL Spence Jr. Now, do I blame the WBO? Not at all. Don't blame the WBO for doing it at all, because more than likely, Terence Crawford was not going to be planning on fighting ERROL Spence anyway. If the way that he handled the negotiations for the first ERROL Spence Terence Crawford fight is any indication of what he's going to do next, you might as well go ahead and order him to fight Virgil Ortiz. Now, as far as what it means for for ERROL Spence Jr. and ERROL Spence Jr. becoming the undisputed champion, I think you can pretty much count that out, because the likelihood of having a unification fight between Virgil Ortiz and ERROL Spence Jr., if Virgil Ortiz was actually able to beat Terence Crawford, or if Terence Crawford vacates the belt, or for whatever reason, the chances of Oscar De La Hoya making a fight between Virgil Ortiz and any of the welterweight champions is just other belt holders. Even if ERROL Spence Jr. did move up in weight, and it became Jaron Ennis for the IBF, or it became whoever else for those other belts, is almost slim and none, because you see how Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions has behaved with every other situation where they have had to make a major fight. They just don't do it. They haven't made one yet for Jaime Munguia. They have not made one for Ryan Garcia. I doubt very much that they are going to make one for Virgil Ortiz. Now, if Virgil Ortiz and Terence Crawford, now if Terence Crawford doesn't, then they probably would. They may very well make that fight with Virgil Ortiz and Terence Crawford, maybe feeling that, that Terence Crawford's a little bit longer in the tooth. But if he winds up fighting Virgil Ortiz, again, this may be the best fight of his career against Virgil Ortiz. So, all in all, man, I don't mind them ordering that fight at all, because I don't really believe that Terence Crawford is very serious about fighting Errol Spence Jr. And left to Terence Crawford's devices, we would probably get another after David Avanesyan. Who knows what level of fighter he was going to fight after him. As far as the fight between the two, obviously I would favor Terence Crawford over Virgil Ortiz, but Virgil Ortiz is a very, very solid fighter, man. Definitely a solid fighter, strong, fundamentally sound, young fighter. And he's probably would be the best or the toughest matchup that Terence Crawford has had in, throughout his career. Now, there are some other people that may on paper look like they were better matchups than Virgil Ortiz, specifically, Sean Porter is the one that I'm thinking about. But Sean Porter, when he fought Terence Crawford, was at the tail end of his career. I think that he was looking towards retirement pretty much since the Errol Spence Jr. fight, and that he probably lost really his lust for the sport of boxing when Errol Spence Jr. did not immediately give him a rematch. I know that Sean Porter said he wanted that rematch, and Errol didn't allow him to get the rematch. He went on and fought, I can't remember who the other guy was that he fought in between Errol and Terence, but just didn't look very good, in that fight either. He didn't really look very good in that fight, and then looked terrible in the way that he went out against Terence Crawford. So, I'm okay with it, man. I just find it really funny that they would do that so quickly. Now I know that the WBC is having a convention, and the WBC will be looking to name a mandatory for Errol Spence Jr. That more than likely is going to be Keith Thurman. And obviously you have the mandatory for Errol Spence that's already set with the IBF, which is Jaron Ennis. So it seems like, the way the welterweight division is panning out, that a lot of these top fights are getting ordered in that division, even though the one that we really wanted to see and the biggest one in the division, the undisputed fight between Errol and Terence, was sidetracked because Terence Crawford, and I'm not pulling punches on that. Terence Crawford decided not to make that fight. From everything that I could see, leaving alone the conversation about purse splits and guarantees and this, that, and the other, as everything panned itself out to be, it looked like it was Terence Crawford that backed out of that. As far as him backing out of it, should give nobody any confidence that the next time around he's going to do any different. So give the guy a mandatory for the best fighter that's available to fight him. And as far as the rankings in the WBO, Virgil Ortiz, is the number one guy. Now, do I think he's the best guy? No, I think the best guy in that ranking is Jaron Ennis, but, we'll leave the WBO politics and all that stuff aside. You pretty much knew that was not going to go to a PBC fighter with the WBO. That was going to go to a Golden Boy fighter or a top rank fighter. And seeing his top rank doesn't have any welterweights, Virgil Ortiz is the guy for the job. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.